get ready to live fearlessly free with Heather Bunch.
Have you ever felt one of these emotions? Overwhelm, anxiety, stress, frustration, doubt, worry, sadness, depression, despair, loneliness, guilt, shame? How about one of these emotions? Joy, gratitude, hope, love, happiness, peace, excitement, awe, confidence, contentment, enthusiasm. Tell me, what emotions do you feel when life takes a turn for the worse? What emotions do you experience when life really seems to be going your way? How about those emotions that you sense when life is looking pretty average? What do you feel? Emotions. We all have them. And some of us, we just express them more than others. Yet we all feel them. Emotions are biochemical carriers that provide us feedback on our current mood. They actually allow us to feel what we're thinking, and they are continually reacting to the inputs all around us. And that's why on those days when it feels like all hell is breaking loose, that our emotions can tend to get the better of us. It happens.
Rolling and ready.
Throw one. You're not getting your drink. Go.
Now, personally, I really enjoy feeling joy, hope, peace, rather than doubt, worry, shame. But every feeling can actually be valuable to our growth process. And growth, as we've learned, is vital if we're going to respond in faith instead of continue in fear when we are taking on the challenges of life. Hi, I'm Heather Bunch, your courageous coach, and I am here to share with you part 4 so that you can be strong and courageous when all hell is breaking loose. I want to thank you so much for spending time with me today. I know you're busy, and yet you are here learning and investing into your growth. Thank you. Now, in this series, we've already learned when things aren't going our way, we can either choose to respond in faith or continue in fear. We've also studied out 2 steps to grow so that responding in faith is our first response instead of our last. Now, step 1 is to renew our mind to what God thinks. And step 2 is to review our words so they line up with what Jesus would speak. This helps us to be strong and courageous when it seems like nothing is going our way. So, let's jump into step 3, and that is rule. The third step in our growth process is to rule our emotions. Now, I would tell my kids it's becoming the boss of your feelings. Emotions, they allow us to feel what we're thinking. They're giving us that feedback that determines if what we're thinking creates the emotions that are going to serve us. It also reveals if we're thinking on those emotions that are those thoughts that are threatening to drag us down that rabbit hole. Now, when our emotions take us to places like Depression Drive, Loneliness Lane, Anxiety Avenue, you know what? We are not experiencing the life that God's designed us for. He has created us to live on Peaceful Place, Courageous Court, and Loving Lane. Now, that is Loving Lane, not Lover's Lane. I know you could get the 2 confused, but if you're married, hey, go for it. Get some Lover's Lane, have some fun. Now, our Heavenly Father, He has created emotions, and they really are the spice of life. So before I go any further, I really want to make clear, I am not saying don't feel. There are absolutely appropriate times to grieve, to be angry, to feel frustrated. Like, that's important. What I am talking about is living a healthy emotional life. And this is where our emotions don't make our decisions for us. They're not running our life. When we're down in that pit of despair.
Where am I?
The pit of despair. Don't
Don't even think. Don't even think about trying to escape.
We're not going to be strong and courageous enough when we need it the most. When we're full of anxiety, it shows that we're focusing on the bad thing that we're predicting is going to happen rather than focusing on the vastness of our God. So despair, worry, anxiety, depression, loneliness, shame, these indicate that something isn't right in our mind. Just like that pain in our side reveals something is not right in our body. So it's time to fix it. When we experience negative emotions, what should we do? How do we fix it? Number 1, breathe. Now, my 8-year-old daughter, she was on the counter the other day, and she was about to take a kid's allergy pill. So I asked her, hey, you doing okay? You got some allergies? And she told me, no, I'm angry. I let her know the allergy pill isn't going to fix the anger. But I also showed her a trick to help her work through that angry feeling and so she could let it go. And that trick is to breathe. When we pause and breathe through the emotion, it's going to do 2 things for us. First, we become aware of what we're feeling. Second, breathing through the emotion allows us to feel the emotion. Then we can release and let it flow out of our body. Now, research has discovered that emotional chemical reaction, it only lasts 90 seconds. 90 seconds, that's it. After that, the emotion only sticks around if we choose to stay in that emotional loop. It's our choice. Remember, emotions are biochemical carriers allowing us to experience our current mood or what we're dwelling on. Once that 90-second chemical boost is done, we are free to release that emotion if we choose to. Key word, choose to. So the next time you feel a negative emotion coming on, usually out of nowhere, try breathing through it for that 90 seconds. Then let it go if it's not serving you after that. Number 2, question it. Question that emotion.
Reached its end. Tell me, or I'll...
No, not the buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons!
All right, then. Who's hiding them?
Okay, I'll tell you. Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man!
Yes, I know the Muffin Man.
What is this emotion trying to tell you? What's the story behind it? Now, don't just take that emotion at face value. You can gain incredible clarity by understanding what is really going on inside of you. What is motivating this? There are so many times that I've gotten angry, and when I questioned the anger, it showed me that I was actually upset because I felt my voice didn't matter at that moment. Feeling invisible goes way back into my childhood, and it is a serious trigger for me, of which I am absolutely working on, because we're all a work in progress. Now, this information, it's growth gold, because you cannot fix what you don't know is an issue. So, question that emotion and see what you discover. Number 3, swap it. It is time to get our emotions working for us instead of against us. If that emotion is not serving you after you've questioned it, like that shame, swap the negative emotion out for something that is serving you. You may be thinking, hang on, Heather. I cannot make my emotions just turn on a dime. And you're right. Hey, you can't make your emotions turn on a dime. But you can let them go after 90 seconds. Once that chemical reaction is over, it's your choice. The key to swapping out that negative emotion for an emotion that is serving you is to catch it early. The sooner you swap it, the easier it is to let that negative emotion go and embrace the positive feeling. It's really that old saying, nip it in the bud.
I say this calls for action, and now, nip it in the bud.
Get it early. Now, the simplest way to swap the emotion is changing what you're thinking about. Remember, emotions allow you to feel what you're thinking. So, swap the negative thought for a positive one. Dr. Carolyn Leaf, she's a Christian neurologist. She says it like this. She says, we think, we feel, we choose. That puts the ball in our court. We have the power. Now, if we reverse Dr. Carolyn Leaf's statement, we can actually reverse engineer our emotional experience. First, we're going to choose what do we want to feel instead. Then, we're going to determine the thought that will bring on that emotion. Then you're going to swap those thoughts out. If you want to feel happy, remind yourself of a happy moment.
Find a happy place, find a happy place, find a happy place!
And that's going to trigger a happy emotion. If you desire to feel, say, contentment, remind yourself that everything that you need in life, you have got it. God tells you that in 2 Peter 1:3. If you desire to feel confident, acknowledge yourself for all the time you've actually accomplished something. And yes, you do have accomplishments. I know for years I always thought I didn't. So if you are struggling to remember your accomplishments, I want you to check out my video on acknowledgments. And that's going to get you going in the right direction. Now we have the power to swap that emotion by swapping our thoughts. And when we rule our emotions, it builds on our renew and review foundation so that we can respond in faith and become strong and courageous no matter what comes our way. Now, next week is the final installment of this series, and I'll share with you the step that ties it all together. Thank you for watching. I would love to know, which step are you going to try this week to rule your emotions? Please share with us in the comments below. And if you've got a tip of a way that we can help rule our emotions, let us know. Your engagement, it really helps us all grow. So thank you. Now, if you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend. And if you haven't already, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hey, you can always click that notification bell if you want to be notified when these videos come out. And don't forget, I have included links to resources and books so you can study this out further for yourself. I'm also giving you a link to my Living a Joy-Filled Life course. Now, this 4-session course, this really will help you get your imagination working for you instead of against you, so that you can live the joy-filled life that God has called all of us to live. It also has an entire session devoted just to taking charge of your emotions. So you are going to learn even more ways to grow in this area. I'm offering this online course. I'm doing it right now for only $27 for you. So if you want, take advantage of that. You can also check out what else we got on the store. You can visit heatherlbunch.com. You can find sweatshirts, notebooks, mugs, pillows. We got so much more. Please use promo code LIVEFearlesslyFree. That's all one word, and you can get 10% off your first swag order. Thank you again for joining me. I am so thankful. And until next time, live fearlessly free.